Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Adolescents Unfiltered, where we bring to you true talks and unfiltered stories. This podcast is brought to you by the Health and Family Welfare Department, Meghalaya. I am your host, Evangeline, and I have with me today two new guests on the podcast. I'm so glad to have you here. Please, if you would introduce yourself to the viewers and listeners out there.
Hey everyone, I'm Ilarisa, currently 3 years into my teenhood, and oh boy, am I loving it.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Cleric, and I'm 4 years into my teenhood, and I'm perhaps enjoying it.
Like I said, we'll calculate.
We have to. We can't trust Cleric on about his age.
Cleric with his
You
age.
can
He's been
trust
so
me.
secretive
I'm
with it.
16 years.
Okay. Nice. He doesn't want to get in trouble. Because with the math we do, we would have had you for 17 years.
Exactly. You could have been 20
Yeah.
for all we know.
Yeah.
16 years.
Okay, glad you cleared that out. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here. How are you feeling?
I am actually in a very good mood right now. I've got all the happy emotions going on,
Are you nervous?
Actually, kind of am, but then I've got lovely people surrounding me. So,
What about you, Cleric?
Well, as I feel every day, every moment, every second, perhaps.
Always
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if I was the audience, what would I like to hear from the people speaking? Yeah, I would like to hear confident speaking. So keeping that into account, I'm
Ready to
not
go.
nervous. Ready.
Yes, I love that spirit.
everybody loves
Let's carry that throughout this podcast. So, yeah, let me shoot the first question to you guys. Since the topic for today is puberty and hormonal changes, and you guys being well into your teen, you just got into that
Yes.
puberty stage in life, right? So, why do you think it's important for us to talk about this? Why is it important for teenagers to understand what is going on with their body?
You want to go first, Cleric?
Well, sure, it is quite important to know what's going on in the body because sometimes we resort to superstitious belief that, our body is going through this change because something bad, something good, someone blessed us, someone cursed us. Well, me personally, okay, this is actually personal.
Okay.
And personally, my father actually told me that coconut juice actually makes our genitals bigger.
Is that a thing?
So my mom actually brought a coconut once home, so I drank it and I thought, oh, it did the magic. So ever since I asked my mom again to buy coconut juice, not because it's
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, to remove those superstitions, we need to learn about what changes the body go through during puberty. To remove any superstition as mentioned before, and to have a clear in depth of what can we do to in situations whereby a body goes through something which is not supposed to go through.
What about some yeah.
Well, for me, it's important because, you can't be in the dark about your own body because in certain situations, what I've seen is that young girls are not really aware what happens before going through puberty. So when they're actually going through puberty, they're actually at a lost cause. For example, there's certain beliefs that, bras are meant to be worn only after you reach a certain age rather than, wearing it for training your breasts because, as you're going through puberty, it gets very uncomfortable, especially in the beginning, the start
Stage,
the start of the whole puberty phase. They get sore and all that. And, wearing a bra actually helps with when you walk, it gets uncomfortable. So, it basically just protects your breast in general. So I feel like we as teens should help to, educate other younger generations or even our own generation, because there are times when I'm in the dark about my own body as well.
Yeah. So I love that. I mean, before getting into puberty, like who gives you the this is going to happen to your body? Who gives you that talk?
For me, it's my mother. And we actually have these talks in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So, we would talk about all the things that could possibly happen. We'll talk about romance. She'd tell me her take on romance. She'd tell me her stories. And, well, I'm actually sort of an anti-romantic.
Really?
Actually, I'm a hopeless romantic. It's just that.
Hopeless romantics.
Yeah, hopeless romantic one, my name. It's just that I repel romance, it seems. So I've not gotten into that stage where my mom, I get to discuss my romantic life with my mom. However, when it comes to my physical changes and my emotions and all that, I get to, converse with her because we have a very open relationship. We get to, talk about literally anything and everything. Like, for example, life, when I go through something, for example, when I had diarrhea. Okay, I had diarrhea, like during my period. I noticed that I always had diarrhea. And then I told my mom about it. And she was like, yeah, that's normal. I was like, normal? You didn't tell me about this before.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently it is normal. If you have diarrhea, don't worry, you're the same as me. So, yeah, my mom, I talked to her about my, physical changes when I first noticed my breasts aching. And then she got me a training bra. It was actually very cute. I never wore it. I was actually embarrassed of wearing it. So yeah, for me, it's my mom.
What about Cleric?
Once again, it's my dad. Well, it was when I was 12, maybe. I won't keep it a secret. I was still getting bathed by my father. The question he struck up that time was, do you have hair in your special place? I was like, perhaps. Then that was I didn't actually knew anything about puberty, to be honest. It was when my father brought up the topic of and my mom as well. When I talk with her, she realizes that my voice has gone quite deep because my voice before she was quite now is it deep?
Very deep.
It's very deep.
It is deep. So basically, my parents both of them played a part in it. They talked just a bit because boys was much talk about it. Just broad shoulders, deep voice, and obviously hair.
There's more to it than that, no? Right? You get like wet dreams, or is that like also an indicator for you getting into puberty?
Well,
It's very TMI for us to talk about this because it's very mainstream for women to talk. Yes, periods. Yes, it's you start developing breast and all that. But as for men, it's just like it's very vague.
Exactly.
So I would like to know more from you. What is like the experience? What do you actually go through during puberty?
What do you actually go through during puberty? Well, I think becomes big, obviously.
Okay.
And with that, testosterone levels also they shoot up, and we start with admiring girls more because this is a particular time when we realize that not all our friends. There will be certain people who will consider more than friends, and basically what happens during puberty with boys is that our voice comes deep, and with that deep voice, we'll try to impress girls. Which I certainly failed.
Don't worry, you'll get there. You'll get there.
So, boys, basically testosterone levels up.
Yeah.
Girls.
But in your case,
In my case, you go away. So basically, it's just that.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. But so you guys only mentioned your parents, but you also have teachers, right, to play roles in educating children about what is going on with their body. Do you have? I remember when I was in school, we went to the same school together. So I was so glad to meet my junior. So when I was in school, whenever we have biology, it's that chapter is always like, no. You go through it. You go through it by yourself. You'll understand. And understand what is all of this? It's never been like this is going to happen. That is going to happen. So it's very secretive and very like a taboo to talk about. Like it's not meant to be spoken about openly. So do your teachers speak to you openly about puberty and sex education as in general?
Well, for me, like I'm in 10 right now, so we just had that chapter in our topic, and when we actually reached that chapter, our teacher was just like underline this, underline that, underline this, underline that, and then after that, she did explain a few topics, but we were never really in depth with it. We just skim through, not even the surface. I'd say if it were an ocean, we were just skimming through those foams on the wave.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, but then we did have some programs, and from what I heard, the health students say that they have a lot of topics about regarding masturbation and teenage pregnancy and all that. And just recently, when we had our practicals, the moral science students, they had a whole play where they reenacted teenage pregnancy and all these topics that would usually be considered taboos. So I'd say maybe because I'm a computer science student. So
Computer science students don't go through puberty. No need for you to learn about what is going on with your body. Just focus on the technology. That's it.
well, but then we did have a few programs that we once had a a flash mob sort of a thing in the basketball court.
Yeah.
I don't really remember which year is it. I think it was 2019, about something that had to do with I just remembered one thing, a big chart and a big red drop on it that is supposed to be a period, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much of what happened there, but we did have a little bit of education sort of a thing. And later on, our school incorporates a lot of programs. So I guess these programs did to a little bit on us.
What about Cleric? What about you in your school?
Well, I'm in class 11, so I think I have to take it back to class 10.
Take it back to
in
class
7th set.
Yeah.
And we certainly did bring up the topic of sex education in class, which at that time was quite funny because we just started learning about all these stuff. So whenever that word sex came in, we all started laughing. And that did happen in class once, whereby the teacher was talking about nutrition, how it affects the height, the other aspects. And when she came to that specific word sex, I was the one who actually laughed. When the teacher turned her back, I was like, serious face. And the guy who was sitting beside me, he got a scolding. Sorry, bro. So when coming back to class 10, we were actually given in-depth knowledge about sex education, particularly from my biology teacher, Ms. Bhattacharjee. She did not hesitate to talk about it because it is actually our age to know about all these stuff. So she brought up sex education in all regards to protection protection against a certain disease such as AIDS, gonorrhea, HIV, and with regards to other institutions such as which give information about these topics, we have the Meghalaya AIDS Control Society. They are very active in these stuff, and just recently they had so many activities in Susotam Auditorium. I was part of that. I participated in the poster and if I'm not mistaken, it was an essay competition.
Okay.
And it gave me in-depth information about AIDS and how it can ruin lives. And we also had people who were actually affected by AIDS. They spoke on that day.
Gave testimonies.
And it was quite touching hearing.
I mean, if you guys don't know, our podcast was launched during their program, Meghalaya Make Icon. So yeah, that was when the promo launched, and I think we at that time we haven't met each other yet. But like you said, these topics are it's awkward to talk about. There's always that giggles and it feels a bit apprehensive of speaking about it openly. But I feel we should normalize telling people, students especially and teens who are going through that phase in life, to be like, yes, this is exactly what's going to happen with your body, because it's only uncomfortable because we make it so, right? We have our mindset to be like, oh no, we shouldn't talk about these things. But yeah, I'm so glad to hear that a lot of initiatives has been taken by the education department, by the health department, to help spread the knowledge and awareness to young people out there watching, right? So let's get into your teenage experience. What was it like stepping into your teenage years?
For me, I actually was scared. Like the first thing, I still remember the day. It was 1st of October 2019. And I had a fever, okay? And then after that, it's like every time I have my periods, I get sick. And it just so happened on my first period as well, I felt sick. I had a fever. And then I was laying in bed. It was, I think, 1 day before my school fete.
Okay.
2 days or 1 day before my school fete. And 2 days because, it was on the 3rd of October. So that day I was sick, and then after that I went to the toilet, and then after that I was like, Mom, look at this. And, and after that, again in the bathroom.
Everything happens in the
And I was like, look at this. And she was like, and then we started, we were basically behaving like idiots. But then my mom literally bought pizza for all of us.
Okay.
Like my tutor was there at that time, and then my cousin and my mom and me. And we all had pizza that day.
Oh, how
it was a pizza
celebration.
party. And but then like afterwards, after all the party and all that was over, I was like, oh no, I won't be a young girl anymore. I will have to go through this every month. And then I was like, nee, it's fine, tata. And then later on when it came, because like my period back then was lasted for 5 days. So on the 5th day, I was like, okay, it's over now. But then I was like, this will happen every month. I've lost all that fun and everything, because back then to me it felt like the end of the world.
Yeah.
And my mom did make me think that way. She was trying to show me the positives and tell me that how it's so beautiful being a girl, being a woman. And back then I was just like, no, my life was over. And then after that, I was very scared. Not scared because I was bleeding, but I was scared because I'm no longer, a kid, a young girl. So I guess that was it for me. And actually, I was not really prepared mentally, because my mom and basically everybody in my family were actually late bloomers. So my mom also thought that I'd be a late bloomer since she herself had hers at 16. So she thought maybe I'd be a late bloomer too, but then I had it when I was 11. And then after that, she didn't get to tell me that before you get your periods, you actually have this vaginal discharge, like a year or 6 months prior to your first period. So you get these vaginal discharge. Now, when that happened to me, I had no idea about it. And I was just like, there's something wrong with me. And then I told my mom, and she was like, at first she thought that, it was just my own feelings. And she thought that maybe it's nothing. And then she didn't, it didn't strike her that, it could have been my period approaching. But I was only 11 then, so she was like,
you're still a baby in front of her.
Exactly. I still am and always will be. I'm pretty sure you're still a baby for your mom and for your dad too.
Yeah, obviously.
A baby chick. But anyways, so yes, that first thing was really scary, and I didn't even know what to do back then. I just keep changing my underwear every now and then. And had I known that, panty liners existed, I would have resorted to panty liners rather than vigorously washing every now and then. So yeah, I hope to the ones listening, if you've not gone through your periods yet, and I mean, it may not necessarily be for everyone that you get your vaginal discharge prior to your first period, but if that does happen to you, well, don't worry. That's just normal.
Buy panty liner.
Buy panty liner.
You don't have to put yourself in trouble by
vigorously washing by hand.
I mean, like if it's like a lot, you have to like at least maybe even change twice or thrice in a day.
Exactly. I had to I'd go in the morning I'd change, and then when I come back from school I'd change. And then I felt like I was running out on, panties back then.
What about cleric?
Well, my puberty phase was quite shiny because it was mostly what the rebellious phase. Yes, it was a time whereby we started knowing that hair actually grows in that place. I go to my friends, and friends come to here and say, "Do you have hair in your special place?" And I was like,
"Oh, it's like a competition."
Yeah, it's not a competition, but then to think of it now, I think it was a competition.
It is a competition. I got mine first and you didn't, you baby.
Well, that was one aspect of my puberty phase, the funny aspect. As for the rebellious aspect, is the phase that I think many teenagers go through with their parents. I was a type of child who was brought up not to be a part of the locality boys, and I was always at home, so basically you can call it always restriction. So because of that, I've developed, sometimes I better keep it to myself, because when I tell something to my parents, also most of the time when I was a teenager, I'm still a teenager, but then in my first years of being a teenager, I would often get scolding, and I thought that the scolding were very unnecessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they were actually necessary, but at that time I considered them to be unnecessary.
Yeah.
So that is why I often resort to my friends. I spill everything to my friends. I spill a lot of tea with them.
Gen Z, full on Gen Z goes, you know.
Well, and certainly it was comforting for the short term, but for the long term, it was not actually. My advice: don't keep from your family, don't keep from your parents. And as for another aspect, was that acceptance. It was very hard for me to accept the pimples on my face.
Oh,
Yeah, puberty phase, pimple grew, and my mom said, "Oh, it's actually because someone likes you."
Exactly. They always say that. And
It's
then
because someone actually likes you that the pimple grows there. So I went into my senior also. I was like, "Oh, senior, you have a pimple on your face. Someone likes you." And I was like, "No, it's not because of that."
people still say that in my school. Okay,
Yeah.
like when I came back from an event, like an inter-school event, and I come from an all-girls school, so
Yeah.
it was exposure. There were boys, and then when I came back, I had like 3 pimples on my face, but that was just because of the dust over there. But everybody,
I'm pretty sure somebody had an eye on you.
That time, I literally tried every measure to remove those pimples. Like my parents were like, "It's because of all that oil on your forehead, maybe like that." So every time I came back home, I washed my face because I couldn't accept pimples being on my face. So that did not work. So wash my face, Borderline, that did not work. Wash my face, antifungal powder,
Oh,
that did not work either. What else could I use? I thought, hope them.
it was
but
Don't do
yeah,
that.
teenage phase is, you go through a lot of changes in your body, and like you said, you go through a phase where you get like a lot of pimple, and that's just your hormone doing its thing, right? So did it affect, because I know a lot of people who has told me stories about their teenagers, they're like, "Oh, I struggled so much with self-esteem, and I couldn't find a way to even love myself or look at myself in the mirror because I just hated myself." We all go through that awkward stage, right? During
Yeah.
puberty, like, but how do you deal with it?
How do I deal with it?
Yeah. When you got your pimples, like, did it affect you in any way?
Will affect me in the way that I was in denial throughout my puberty. I was like, nah, like,
It's
come
just-
on. It's been at least 1 year. My parents said, in 1 year they will be gone. But then after 1 year also they were still there.
Yeah.
I was like, when will they be gone? Then I kept washing my face, doing stuff like that because you go to school, they expect people to see you like, like not good looking, but then like a normal typical student who doesn't have pimples.
just
mean,
BB
there
face,
is
clear
no
face,
normal,
clear skin.
typical student without pimples. Everybody
Yeah,
has
everyone has pimples, but then
Yeah.
we all wish that we would
Yeah,
have
I
a
mean,
clear face.
exactly.
And I had that urge that time too, but then the only thing that solved this was patience. Wait for more than 2 years, everything will be gone, I guess.
But I mean, if you feel like it really is affecting you, can always, like, there is something that you can do about it, why not do something, right? Like, take care of your skin, take care of yourself, take care of your own body. If it makes you feel better, I feel that's also another way for you to help cope.
I mean, back in April, I think when was March past? 4th April. So we'd have these rigorous practice hours, and I looked like a skinned potato back then. Like I'd have
Always, yeah,
sunburn all over my face, and then whenever I look in the mirror, just happened to you, man. And then after that, like back then, I would go to the hospital, straight to the hospital after school.
Yeah.
So the moment I reached the hospital, I'm like, I wash my face. And the thing is, the water over there is like kind of harsh, so to say, because I use the public restroom. It smells really good though there, but then anyways, so I'd wash my face and I'd apply random creams. I'd use Vaseline, sometimes the yellow one, sometimes the pink one, sometimes the brown one. And then later on, I was like, nah, this won't work. I went to a dermatologist and he helped me. He gave me this steroid. And he also gave me this very expensive sunscreen that I was supposed to use. And it's 700. But I guess it's worth it, I guess. I mean, my face doesn't look like a skinned potato anymore right now.
You shouldn't give that prescription to me
Oh no, no, you go to the doctor by saying, she's not going to prescribe you something. And
I'll give you
without,
Sure.
yeah.
and it was steroids, so don't worry, I'll give you the doctor's address, everything.
Okay, sure, will work. Is it far?
No, it's just an alignment.
Okay.
Okay. Done. Take the doctor's number from her after you're done.
Yeah, remember that.
Just say, but I feel your skin is clearing out. What do you say?
No, this was a result of too much past.
Wow.
As we had sun under the sun, we couldn't even move. We couldn't
Exactly.
even move. Being the commanders, that is, the contingent behind, they can fall back. And they
Exactly.
fail. And us, if we fall back, who will face us?
I
So
actually
we just had to stand there under the sun. And when I go back home, my mom will say, "What happened to you?"
I didn't.
My mom actually said, "If you scrub your face very hardly, you'll become white."
not my mom, but my grandmom.
Oh no!
I was like, how is this
bad
going?
advice.
If I wash my face, this part will still remain back. This part will still remain back. I can't wash the entire body with like that rigorously.
And it comes to being, like not being white, but having fairer skin. I actually have dark knees, and the thing is, dark knees don't look good when you wear short skirts.
Yes.
So,
And we wear gyms.
and we wear gyms, and we have white socks that literally, they
Contrast.
they contrast our knees. And the thing is, not everybody is gonna wear a gym that's way below the knee to the ankle. I mean,
It's
like,
what they want us to do.
I mean, now they say 4 fingers above the knee, and sometimes it's more like 8 fingers above the knee. But I throughout my childhood, I've always been insecure about my dark knees, and I tried baking soda and lemon. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. That 5 minutes after.
That's such a. It disseminates very. I feel not information that is very not say how to say wrong, incorrect,
Incorrect. Misinformation.
misinformation. Yes.
Yes. So and my grandmother would always be like, what are those stones called? The stones that we use for bathing?
Yeah.
The things that we use for scrubbing?
Yeah.
What are those things called? Okay. So like my grandmom would always tell me that, let me scrub your knees. Every time you have bath, call me. I'll scrub your knees till they become fair. And then
so painful.
Yeah, and my sister actually went through that. Before, when she was small, there would be like a helper who would help to clean her up. Once, the helper actually scrubbed her so hard that she was like, "Oi,
We're going off topic with the knees
Oh,
and the
yeah.
scrubbing. So let's get back on topic. Let's get back on track. Your knees issues and later. Tell me what works later.
No, I'm fine with them. That is fine. If I wear short clothes, I usually don't. I'm a very, how do I say it, modest person when it comes to clothing, because I won't say that I'm insecure. It's just that I don't feel comfortable showing skin, so my skirts are usually long.
Yeah, works for you.
Mhm.
For your knees.
My knees.
So yeah, what are the helpful method that helps you? I mean, the method that helps you when you go through these mood swings. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of those.
I mean, if I were to, whenever you say teenagers, I remember I go to my best friend's house to get ready on Sundays before church. 3 girls, all in their prime, everybody getting ready at that very same time, and it's just like a house of horrors.
Yeah.
No, I want that clip. No, I'm gonna wear that. No, I want those shoes. I'm gonna wear those shoes. Why are you wearing those shoes? I'm wearing this dress. No, don't wear that. I'm planning to wear that. No, I want that. Why are you doing that? Why is your nose looking like a reindeer? Stop, take that off. So yes, for me, when it comes to hormonal changes, how I deal with it, recently I've resorted to prayer. And earlier, before that, I was, I'm very grumpy. I'm an emotional fool too. I cry over, there's this one, commercial about a lizard. And and that lizard, he lost his wife.
Oh my God, I would cry.
Exactly. It was a meme, sort of it was a commercial, but it turned into a meme, but I actually cried instead of laughing at it. So I like to feel my emotions because, like I said, I'm an emotional fool. We both are. We both are emotional fools. And for me, I like to feel certain emotions, especially when it comes to, when it comes to grief, when it comes to feeling, being in angst. Oh, you don't like that angsty feeling, but pushing it away is not solving the problem. You're just like, leaving it for later, and you're like, yeah, we'll deal with it later. And that later keeps piling and piling and piling. And then later on, you never know what could, which turn it could take. So for me, I like to feel the emotions. However, when it comes to anger and, being impatient, every time I'm like, Jai Ila, it's not the end of the world. Jai. And then I pray, especially when it comes to, when my family members ask me to do something. Why now, man? Like once I was watching this really interesting anime, and it's called Romantic Killer. So, resonated with me. So then after that, my uncle asked me to buy him something, and then I was like, basically, and that was in my language, and in English should be, God, please help me.
Please help me.
So yeah,
Help me be calm.
help me be calm, because anger is not the most beautiful emotions.
But if you feel it, you feel it.
But if you feel it, you feel
You
it.
just need to find a way to deal with it in a way that doesn't hurt you, that doesn't impact you or the others. Or you'll go back and think, oh, why did I react that way?
Exactly. Like, especially in our teenage years, we're very impulsive as teenagers. So sometimes we might say some things that we don't mean, and then later on we regret, and then and then even if we say sorry, I mean, I guess apology is a really beautiful aspect of, being human.
Yeah.
Because we apologize and we accept the apology, and, but then there are times when it just becomes habitual when with your impulsivity, you're just like, blah, 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 blah. No, you like this, you, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, later on, when you're sitting alone, you're like, oh, why did I do that? No. Then when you go apologize, by then, okay, maybe for the first time, you have that, great sense of, how do I say it? That feeling that, I apologize. I really seek for forgiveness. But then when it becomes habitual, I mean, the person who's, forgiving you as well is just like, I mean, you apologized, I forgive you. And it just happens and happens. And the person, if it's a really patient person, they'll be like, okay, you've made a mistake. It's fine. I understand. But, we're human after all.
Yeah.
Person on the receiving end at some point might just snap. So, yeah.
Scary. If you speak that, I'm thinking about my mom. The amount of time I've made her angry during my teenage years, and is it always my way or the highway? I mean, if you don't listen to me, if you tell me not to do something, I'll do it. So yeah, what about Cleric? We've been going on and on. Cleric has just been listening to us, these girls.
Passive listener, but then when I participate,
Very active. Come on. Clever Cleric.
Wait, what are we talking about?
How do we deal with
deal with
emotions? Emotions, yeah.
mood swings?
Mood
Mood swings. Well, mood swings, back to my rebellious phase. I used to participate in a lot of these online meets, and my parents would not be okay with these because I'm talking with actual strangers who it might be fine, but then sometimes it might not. So they were concerned with me, but I thought their concern was nothing. I thought that maybe they were being overreactive, and so I would get angry at them. And there was this particular time where I was participating in this online literary group. My father said, "Don't talk too much with strangers." And I was like, "Okay, silent for now." When to bed, pillow.
Yeah.
Right. So after the mood swing, I become angry first because I'm not allowed to do this thing and stuff. Then later on, when I go to bed, I cry myself to sleep. Well, how to deal with mood swings? Like I said before, one, you can either cry yourself in bed. Two, you can let out all your anger. Then take some breaths and calm down. Or maybe three, just accept it because it's happening. You can't stop it. You can't be Thanos and go back in time.
Are you like one of those people that, had an argument, and then after that you try to slam the door, but you're scared, so you're just
Well, for my phone, that is when I have an argument with my parents. I was like, but then I remember that I already smashed it 4 times already. I cannot ask my father to fix it for the 5th time. It's like,
It's not your fault. I need you. I'm sorry. I mean, if we deal with that perception with the way we deal with that phone when we were mad, yeah, I need you. I'm going to miss you if you're gone. If you have that mindset when it comes to dealing with people whom we're mad at, I mean, it would solve the problem.
I mean, like, we wouldn't even have wars.
mood swings with regards to anger is always followed by regret.
Always.
Because I remember playing Mobile Legends once, and I was playing and playing, then internet lost. I was like, on my knee, I was a slight, but then the screen shattered. So after that, I was like, well, what can I do about it?
The deed has been done.
Yeah, the thing has been done, so what else can we do about it? And then I went to my parents. Oh, the phone mistakenly fell from my...
You're admitting on camera that he lied to his parents.
So I told parents, I charged it to the extension block. I was moving out of the room. My leg got stuck with the extension block. And the extension block came down from the table and the screen got shattered.
I love
how brave he is.
Exactly. Like, he gave us such an elaborate story to explain how his screen shattered.
But then they found out I was
I'm
lying.
concerned a little.
Yeah, they found out I was lying.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we've spoken about how to deal with mood swings and our body changing, but I want to get into a topic whereby we get into why that we don't speak about things like puberty and hormonal changes and sex education openly. I mean, up to like we said earlier, off camera, of course, we were speaking about how whenever we're being explained something when it comes to our private parts, like a vagina or a penis, we're like, they make up names that...
Yes. Some are really strange. Like, the strangest one I find is Nunu.
Nunu?
You know what a Nunu is?
Nunu isn't like...
Yeah, a penis.
What?
Yeah.
So misleading.
Exactly why we need to call them by their names. A vagina is a vagina.
I mean, it's just pee-pee.
I
mean, like, yeah. I knew people. I mean, like, I was very confused. Okay, when they were like a group of guys were talking, I was there, and they probably wanted to be discreet about it. And plus, there was an elderly in between. So they were saying no. And I was like, what is a Nunu? I thought it was somebody's name. But then, okay, turns out it was not what I thought. Apparently, was definitely not a person, and it was actually a penis. So yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why are we so discreet and scared to just say it?
I mean, like, maybe it comes from, I guess it dates back to our ancestors and everything.
Yeah. They started the trend, we had to follow the trend.
Exactly. We're just followers. We're no leaders, we're followers for now. I guess me and Larry could start an empire.
Change the world. We start calling everything by their names now.
So, I mean, like, in my family, well, we speak in our mother tongue. So this, I mean, like, so far, I'm not sure what are the private parts actually called, like, in our mother tongue.
I bet they're so shy to talk about it that they didn't even come up with a name.
Most likely that's the case, because, like, for some families, it's a different word. For example, I just said Nunu just now.
I'm still misled till now.
Yeah. You'll be enlightened when you look back at this podcast. I hope the viewers and listeners out there also take back something that, these things shouldn't be speaking about privately. I mean, it's not, of course, general information. It's just human. You're human.
Exactly.
It's there.
Everybody
call
has
it what it is. Everybody has it. There's nothing to be shy about. But you should not feel apprehensive of speaking about what is going on with your body, especially because that could lead to misinformation and who knows what else.
And the boys could just keep on drinking coconut
milk or coconut water.
Yeah.
And then we'd be running out of coconuts.
Regarding that topic, the reason why we are not open about that in public is because the activity consists of two people. That means it is private. So it's common when we actually talk about it in public, people will associate it with something like that's not good. They think we're talking about something dirty. So that is why we don't really talk much about these in public, although we might tease our friends with it.
Well,
But then, other than formal education, talking about that particular activity in public is not good. It is, so to say, frowned upon.
yeah. I mean, like in certain families, I've seen that, like though you're family members, but the male family members are not supposed to know that you're on your periods.
Oh, yes.
So, like I feel that we still have a lot of work to do, but I see that our generation, me, Cleric, and your generation too.
She was about to exclude me from like,
No, I'm not going to exclude you.
okay.
So I'm just saying that I see that our generation has become,
We're evolving.
we're evolving, yes. And though we are evolving in a way, there's still some that are, I won't say they're in denial or they're refusing to evolve, but it's just everybody has their own timing. There's a time for everything, there's a place for everything. And for now, this is the place where we're talking about everything that has to do with pubes and puberty and everything that we're going to be talking about today. So, I mean, like, we can't do anything about the previous generation, but what we can change is the future upcoming generations, our kids, I guess.
Kids.
Our kids. So my,
How many kids?
She's thinking far ahead.
I mean, like, yeah.
How you guys, we have crushes because it's normal, right?
Of course.
Do you talk about it openly with your parents?
I do actually. I even told my mom that. Well, I don't know if this guy this guy is very popular in my stories.
Okay.
I never mentioned his name, but it's just that
Stories?
popular in my stories, as
You
in like,
upload about him every day?
no, not Instagram stories. Like,
Stories. Okay.
like I'm a storyteller. Cleric.
Clearly, she's taking over the podcast.
So
I love it.
I literally told my mom the day he ran away from me.
Okay.
And then after that, my mom was like, he ran away from you? And I was like, he did. He literally ran away from me. And she was like, oh, well, that's fine. You're just like me. I was the same as you before. So, yeah. I talk about literally everything and anything. Like, my crushes, a dude that I see walking by, and I'm like, oh, that dude is cute. And then I tell my mom about it.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, yo, what is up with your tails? And then after that, sometimes, again, in the bathroom. So we'd be talking, and then suddenly I'd just be like, you remember this one dude that I used to like? And she'd be like, which dude?
Which one? There are too many.
And then I'd be like, no, you see, the thing is, we're teenagers. And like Cleric said, so for me as well, it's like, but then except for it's only my eyes that reach them, the rest they just repel.
Oh no.
I'm like anti-guy magnet.
But are you even ready to start dating?
No, but then like at least talk to me. Don't want to date me, that's fine. I'm not ready for a relationship either.
Have tea with me in the canteen.
Exactly. At least have tea in the canteen with me.
Ma'am or auntie?
I'm going to kill him for this. Cut that part out.
No.
He didn't just call me auntie.
Kong Evangeline. When he calls us to this podcast, he calls two contradictory people.
Yeah.
She
I mean,
talks
that
about
is
my
the-
crush to her parents. I never tell them about it. About my
no.
crushes. And actually, I draw. Okay, I used to draw portraits from people in my school, and this particular time I draw portrait of my crush.
No.
Obviously, I'm not a pro drawer, so I printed the thing
She
out
looked like a
first,
pig.
then I just... So I gave it to her, and she was amazed by it, but then
Okay.
I forgot to remove the evidence. And when my parents were cleaning my cupboard just this year, they found the pictures, and they were like, and my sister texted me, Baba, father and mother, they found some pictures of a girl, and they were very happy for you. Yeah, I was like, no, Dad, nah, Dad, come on, don't come to don't jump to conclusions. I told my sister, Nick, okay, I will not say this part.
Hey, you're cautious now.
No. So basically, I told my sister, don't include this kid. I told my sister, if father and mother come up with another assumption, just tell them
Oh no! Why?
Because it is better to have no hope than to have a false hope. She was just a friend of mine.
Oh no!
A crush, but she was a crush, but then and that particular time she was just a friend again. So
You got friend zoned.
no, yeah.
You're in denial.
Let's just assume I'm not in denial. I am in.
Realistic. I'm a realist.
South and South, they don't.
Yeah.
South Saudi attract.
What? No, not in South Utrecht.
Not in Saudi attract. So I think both of us were South. So
So you're an anti-girl
Same
magnet
pose of
and I'm an
magnet.
anti-boy magnet. Don't worry. Contradictory people.
Why is it that you're so scared to share about your crushes? I mean, it's normal. They've gone through it. Why is it that you don't open up with them?
because whenever I open up with my parents about crushes, they only think about the future. How many kids are going to have? I want grandchildren because my parents literally said, if you don't get married first, your sister and your brother won't get married.
Oh no!
Then I was like, I think they'll have to wait for the entire life.
Don't do that to them. Don't do them that dirty.
I was always planning of a response to them. If they ever bring up the topic of grandchildren, I'll only tell them that I will not be the end of the bloodline. I have my sister, my brother. They can together bring at least 5 grandchildren. So you can expect from them.
I mean, you're still 16.
Yeah.
Yes,
16. You still have a lot of time to still change your mind. You're just saying that because you're mad at someone.
We have come to a nice conclusion.
Oh, how sweet. So I'm like,
Okay,
if not you, I'm never going to marry anyone else.
Uh-huh.
That's the typical teenager thought process, right?
Actually, I want to share this, but then I'm scared she might actually see
Okay, no, Radhya. We don't want it to fight out later. I mean, if it ended in a good term, let it stay that way.
You know, it's sweet when you get married and you have kids. And, you know, I talked about your mom during a podcast. And then if that doesn't happen and you get married to a different woman and
I talked about another woman.
she'd be like, you talked about another woman? You didn't love me first.
Okay, plot twist. So she might actually be my cousin.
Oh my God.
She might. So let us put the full stop here.
Okay, let's put the full stop and jump to the next topic.
Okay.
So, like, how could parents, like you said, you and your parents have that relationship? How could they be more supportive and help teen navigate this stage of their lives? What would you expect them to know?
Well, the thing is, I have a very supportive, loving mother. She's ahead of her time. She's always been ahead of her time. And that applies to her parenting with me as well. Like the way she brought me up was, she was preparing me. She is preparing me. She still is raising me right now. And don't take that as offensive. So yeah, she raised me to become independent because I'm an only child and well, if I don't fend for myself, I'll be eaten by the wolves. Or I could be totally crushed by people like Derek who are super clever.
Super clever. I got it.
She's
in
undermining
70s.
herself.
Okay, I will not bring up my percentage.
Okay. So my mom, what she'd do is that she never, like as a parent, I won't say that, you know, I see you as a friend and all that. It's just that when I talk to her, it's so free that, you know, I have that freedom to tell her that I have all that freedom and I feel so free to tell her that that guy has a mole there. I like him. I like that mole over there. And the dude that I like actually doesn't have a mole. I'm just adding a detail. But then, you know, the conversations would go somewhat like that. And my mom would actually, like, ever since I was young, she would teach me to make my own decisions. So I don't remember this, but apparently my mom does. Obviously, she will remember. I was very young. So we went to Regal and she made me choose my own, you know, food. And I couldn't even read. And I only saw a picture of idli.
Oh,
Okay. And I was like, I want this. And then my mom was like, you won't like that. I was like, no, I want this. I was apparently, you know, very dead set on eating that idli. And then my mom was like, you won't like it. And then after that, I was like, I want this. And then after that, when the food arrived, I hated it. Obviously, I did not like it.
it's bland.
And then my mom made me finish that thing. She didn't allow me to, you know, order something else because that thing didn't work out. She made me eat the whole damn thing. And then after that, that was her way of teaching me to take my own life decisions and how,
Make your own mistakes.
With certain decisions comes certain consequences, and how we should be responsible enough to deal with our consequences, our own consequences. She taught me that if I mess up, I can't go running to her and be like, I messed up, do something. And she'd be like, okay, I have a magic fairy. There, it's done, it's gone. So yeah, in that way, I'd say that my mom did a pretty good job. And I think that's one of the reasons why I did not enter my rebellious age yet, because usually
she's saying.
Yeah,
It's coming.
I'm not sure yet. I mean, like, as long as my mom and I have, our lines of communication open, I'm pretty sure that, that will be very easily avoidable. Yeah. But the moment I stopped sharing and she stopped sharing, that's when, I could see things going down. And I'd say that for parents, obviously, it's not going to be easy for you to share everything. It's, at the end of the day, you have a really huge role to play in your child's upbringing, because, parents, how do I say it? Parents are what?
Parents are the guardians, angels.
So sweet.
Guardians, angels, some more.
Pillars.
Judiciary.
Judiciary,
The
okay.
Constitution. We are the Constitution.
We are the Constitution, okay. So yeah, they play a really huge role, and it's really important for not only children to share, but also for parents to share. I mean, if you're drinking and if you're smoking, please let your child know. Your child would not want to hear from somebody else that, oh, your father drinks, your mother smokes, and, it's... I mean, the same goes for parents. They would want to know from their own child if they ever made a mistake, rather than hearing from someone else that, oh, your child did this, your child did that. So, having... maybe if you're just starting to have that relationship with your parents, you're just starting to open up, it may be a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, because, I mean, like, anything that's good in the beginning is going to be uncomfortable. Because if it was... everything that is good is hard. Because if it was not hard, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So it's the hard that makes it good. So I'd say that for parents, if there are any watching, and for future parents as well, well, just remember that you are not a ruling body over your child. I mean, like, he said judiciary. So you're not a ruling body over your child. You're a support system for your child. You basically are, for us children, our parents are the first people we want to run to when we're doing something wrong or when we do something good. For me, when you called me to tell about, to inform me that I had to come here with Cleric, I was so happy. I went jumping. I literally was making tea. I literally told Cleric, I'm making tea right now. What do you want? And then he was like, oh, they want you here too. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I started jumping over there. But I was like, maybe it's not that official yet. Then you called me. Then I jumped. I went to the bedroom and I straight away went to my mom and I was like, thank you so much. I started crying tears of joy. And then after that, I started thanking her and blah, blah, blah. God knows what was I saying. And then I went to my grandmother. I hugged her. I kissed her. And then after that, I prayed. I wanted to pray first, but then I don't know what to do. I just said, thank you, God, at first. And then after I was done, then I did a proper prayer. And then I forgot about the tea. And then after that, the tea evaporated. My grandmother was like, what was taking so long for you to make that tea? And I was like, it evaporated, man. Sorry, man.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're happy to be here. What about Cleric? What was your point of view? What should parents do to support their children
Well, supported children only will
going through their teenage?
Yes. So basically, as a typical teenager, whenever something good happens, we go tell them immediately. But then whenever something bad happens, we try to find alternative first to fix it. Then when it goes, we tell them.
You don't have any other options.
Yeah, that is, personally, I've gotten into a lot of dramas lately, especially this year. And being a person who initially did not open up to my parents often, because back in 2022, I was like, friends, share with them anything. So I had quite a good relationship with my parents in 2022. whenever something happens, I would always resort to my friends first and go to my parents. So that wasn't good. Don't do that. Teenagers, I don't advise, I request. So that wasn't good. So now that I have, so to say, loosened relationship with all of my previous friends,
Yeah.
my relationship with my parents has become good. And whenever something happens, I would tell them. And because now their restrictions on me has loosened, because before in 2022, if there like Newton's third law, when there is an action, there's
There's
an
an
equal
Equal
and
and
opposite
opposite reaction.
Oh, I'm so
So-
proud of myself for remembering that.
when parents impose a restriction on their children, sometimes they may retaliate back, in the sense that they would
Yeah.
not tell them certain stuff. They would not come to them during times of need first. They would go first to other people who they know that they will not get judged by, they would not get scolded by, they will get parents, they school you to correct you. They don't immediately jump to the remedy part. They go first to the lecture part, then they'll come to the remedy part, because they don't believe in short-term goals. They believe in long-term goals. So if we solve this problem here and there, what good will it do to you? It will teach you nothing. So parents, they lecture us so that in the long term, whenever something similar happens, we'll be able to tackle it. And I was able to do that this year. Thanks to my parents, I was able to tackle things by myself. But then in the end, I did not manage to tackle things by myself. And I had to tell my parents, and my parents were very supportive. This time they did not consider it entirely my fault for all the mess. They tried to understand the situation, and they did understand the situation. That is why they were able to bring up a good remedy to it. And because of that, I'm quite open with my parents regarding everything. Or else, when there's too much restriction, I like to gatekeep. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it all comes
yeah.
down to trust. Huh?
Yeah, it all comes down to trust and open communication.
Open
Like you said,
communication.
nothing
Yeah.
good comes easy. You
Yeah.
have to work for it. So yeah, that's the takeaway for today. With that, we will conclude today's episode. Thank you so much for being here. You have been an absolute delight, both of you. And I hope all the viewers, listeners out there, please subscribe, like, share, comment. And if you have anything to say or suggest to our podcast, please comment down below. If not publicly, you have a link which we will be providing anonymously. You can submit your thoughts, your ideas for our future episodes. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Evangeline Tubru signing off.